I'm Jessica Kramer with MRC-TV. Today we're in Washington, D.C. at the Freedom Plaza for Stop the Steal rally, supporting President Trump and asking people what role the media had in this election. Do you think big tech and the media played a role in this election?
Yeah, so I do a lot of online advertising and text messaging and emailing for my job on behalf of Republican candidates, and I can assure you that big tech's influence in the election is the greatest influence that any non-candidate actor or campaign actor has ever had in an election ever.
Oh, it's so incredibly obvious. One thing as far as the polls, we're all about suppression polls.
Yeah, they definitely, by saying that Trump had no chance, people aren't going to come out and vote because they don't think their candidate's going to win at all.
What role do you think the media and big tech had in this election?
I think the media definitely misled the American community. They told us lies from the beginning. It's been going on for 4+ years.
I think the media is suppressing everything right now. I think they're going to suppress everything that happens today. I think when the vote comes in and then they find out that Trump did win, they're going to suppress that. I don't think they're interested in any truth. I think what they're interested is in a narrative, and their narrative is we are globalists and we're here to take America, and we're going to do it one way or another.
Well, I think the censorship is obvious, for them doing their fact-checking, which is not even verified fact-checking. I think that influences the election.
Well, I think at this point in time, there's evidence that there's a serious manipulation and an omission of what was covered. I think preceding the election, when there was the release of the hard drive that the FBI had the possession of for the year prior, and then of course the blackout from the mainstream media for the most part, that seems to be a bit of an omission.
Especially for the last 2 to 4 weeks, I was censored multiple times by LinkedIn.
They censored conservative voices, like big conservative voices were censored on YouTube. They purged like a bunch of conservative YouTubers. They censored our president on Twitter. They censored Facebook. They censored all kinds of conservative voices. But hey, if you supported the other side, there was no censorship. That if you said anything negative about the other side, they shut you down.
We also had a study that came out that said 4.6% of Biden voters wouldn't have voted for Biden had they known about the Hunter Biden story. Do you think that that's why the media suppressed it?
Yeah.
Because obviously Trump would have
100%.
won.
I have a lot of friends who were pro-Trump, but they didn't even hear about it themselves. And because on Twitter, with the algorithms and stuff, they go ahead and suppress what's trending on Twitter so that you don't see what's going on.
Were those voters ones that were alive or already dead?
My surprise that they suppressed? Absolutely not.
I'm very surprised by that. They hid that to the end.
Absolutely not, and I think that's why they didn't want to do early voting.
And that's why they didn't run the story.
I think it did. Anything that President Trump does, it's all over the media, even if it's a lie. I mean, they had Stormy Daniels on TV for a week straight touting about things that were not verified. And then you wouldn't say anything about Hunter Biden. And we had pictures of him smoking crack and doing all kind of other stuff. So I wish that the media would be fair and criticize Trump just as much as they criticize Biden. Like, it should be even across the board so the American people can determine, okay, who's a person of integrity and who's not based on what's presented. But when they do it one-sided and they do it completely biased, it really affects the way people think.
As Americans, we have to understand is that we could still lose.
We want to defund the media because they're not telling us the truth.
Everyone's here in support of the president. What's next?
A second term?
The judicial system, it has to play out.
We're going to have to support Donald Trump in our local Board of Elections. We're going to have to support him. Ohio, we won, but anywhere where there's major contestation of the vote, we need to be financially supporting him. He's got I think 1,000 lawyers out there right now trying to get to the bottom of it. We're going to need to support him, because he is, without a doubt, being trampled again.
The next thing is we'll just wait and see. The bottom line, we do need evidence to get the Supreme Court and to overturn this thing.
I think we need to stay calm and let the process go through, because the truth will come out.
Our democracy cannot be intact without the integrity of our voting, because it's so important. If anything, regardless who the outcome is, the voting, the integrity of the voting needs to be intact, and it isn't. There's too much proof of it out there.
Corporate America, big tech, and the powers that be that run the Democratic Party will make sure that Joe Biden is in the White House on January 21st. That's what I think is happening.
I think the courts are going to overturn it, and there's going to be some civil unrest that we haven't seen yet.
I think that our presence here is all that we can do at this point in time in a very peaceful way to show that we are not quite buying that narrative at this point in time.
Well, it seems these Trump supporters are really passionate about the role that the media played in this election. Hopefully with this rally, their voices will be heard. From MRC-TV, I'm Jessica Kramer.